Hey guys, and welcome back to Corpse Party Blood Drive, and we're playing as Ayumi, and we made it back to the Nirvana, and we're going to continue through. So what we have to do now is come over to this area, and then grab this corpse tag over on this. Oh, what the heck? Alright. There was no mistaking it. In the midst of the wreckage, pieces of clothing were Kishinuma, Mishida, Nakashima, Miss Kuon, and Aiko were clearly visible. And the unfortunate souls who were wearing the clothes were all buried under fallen beams and other debris, and surrounded by a veritable sea of blood. Alright, so now she's confronted with the fact that all of her friends are dead. I knelt down and began sobbing uncontrollably. You guys! Masudo, show yourself! What you've done is unforgivable. Sachiko stared at me as I continued to scream and cry. Ayumi? What is it, Sachiko? I'll see what I can do. I can try to rescue or restore Heavenly Host Elementary's destiny, and at least some part of it. What? Sachiko produced a calavera necklace from her pocket. The skeletal figure on the chain made a slight yellow or hollow clinking sound as it was handled very much like an actual bone would. It looked handmade and seemed oddly worn, like a keepsake. What is that? I had this weird feeling that I'd seen this object somewhere before. I swear that looks familiar, but from where? Hee hee! Though she was looking down at the ground a bit, slightly guilty and slightly guarded, Sachiko giggled slightly. This is my treasure. A big smile crept across her lips, and for a moment she looked every bit of a part of an ordinary little girl. Huh? I was confused. Sachiko placed her hand on the Book of Shadows. Fact loop. And the book spoke. Repeat the same day. Followed by Sachiko. Ah! Okay. Suddenly, I was in Yoshi Shinozaki's clinic. The very same clinic Nakashima and I had visited on that fateful day. This person is Yoshi. I was viewing Sachiko's memory of the event from long ago. Yoshi was writing something in her journal. I've analyzed the anagrams and determined that all the spells written in this book are nothing more than theories. Not one of them has ever been properly tested. There were no success rates. There's no data of any kind. So why was I naive enough to attempt something that foolish? So I've devoted everything I had, my soul, my blood, to the very end that was destined never to succeed in the first place. And now, the spells failed and Nirvana has escaped from the book. I've created a whole nother dimension. Worst of all the deceased who've become trapped in that dimension are erased from existence in our world. Sachiko came into the room from the back. Her eyes met with Yoshi's and she smiled. However, since I was able to suppress this stray Nirvana... Sachiko stood obediently by her mother, wearing the white dress we'd seen her in Heavenly Host. Yoshi patted her head approvingly. Sachiko then coughed out a fine black mist, but sucked it back into her mouth like a carp. I coulda at least rescued one person's existence from that shadowy, forgotten fate. The face of the image was a blacked out like those of Seiko and the others. However, the principal? Is that the principal? To my surprise, the black marking was slowly peeling itself away, revealing the features underneath. Looks like something's happening. My vision slowly cleared, and when it did, amidst all the rumbling and shaking, I found myself back in Heavenly Host Elementary. Oh! Then promptly, Sachiko collapsed to the ground. Sachiko? Without thinking, I picked her up and held her limp, light body in my arms. She must have used up her spirit energy, as she was clearly drained and she was breathing, but only very lightly. Poor girl seems to be in pain. Wait, am I actually holding Sachiko? Sachiko was real. She had to have been, or I wouldn't have been able to hold her onto like this. She seemed injured, but not in any traditional manner. There were crackings running through her body, each one emanating an unearthly blue, almost gaseous light. Meanwhile, the school itself was also cracking and breaking all around me, making an incredible noise. The roof above began to crumble away, providing glimpses of the real world. And incredibly, the entity walls haven't spawned up there yet. We're back! This is before everyone died! Sachiko, hang in there! Ayumi, I'm sorry, I couldn't revert any more time. No, Sachiko, thank you! That was amazing! You did great! I could hardly believe it. I just complimented Sachiko, of all people, on a job well done. You're praising me? Her newly formed physical body was rapidly beginning to evaporate into mist. My voice was trembling, though I suspect it was less with fear and more with confusion. Yes, that was incredible. You're a good girl, Sachiko. She looked up into the sky, eyes beginning to well with tears. She was struggling to speak. Soon she wouldn't be able to at all. I wanted to apologize. What? She barely had any voice left, but was preserving nonetheless. This was clearly something she didn't want to leave unsaid, no matter what. I know you can never forgive me, but I wanted to apologize anyways. And with that, she began to full on crying. Sachiko, I couldn't help but doing the same. I killed a lot of people. I'm not a good girl. You shouldn't praise someone like me. The tears were streaming down my face now. Sachiko's voice was so mournful, so genuine. But you just saved a lot of people now too, so thank you. A massive earthquake shook the ground. Sachiko looked scared, so I patted her head and hugged her tightly. And then she looked me squarely in the eye, gripping her calavera necklace tightly in her hands as if it was a rosary. It's strange, isn't it? What is? Once you know you did right, passing on isn't so scary anymore. Sachiko! Ah! Sachiko and the blue light, alike, both disappeared completely. She was gone. The being I was just hugging, just moments ago, no longer existed. All I could do was clench my fist and mourn. The look on Sachiko's face when she asked if I was scared of dying kept flashing through my head. Sachiko, you were the one who was scared, weren't you? I kept my head hung low for a moment, then stood up and wiped the tears from my eyes. Accompanied with the sounds of rumbling, one single entity wall now stood in the real world. The cycle was beginning anew. Watch over me, Sachiko. One Shinozaki to another. In we go. Uh-oh. Praise. Good girl. Unfair. Sachiko. That was kind of creepy. Alright. There you have it. We have finished Determination, Chapter 7. So that was the end of Sachiko. That was pretty... That kind of sucks that she had to go, but I mean, we're back in time now. So EVP entries for Yui Sushido have been unlocked. EVP entries for Mayu Suzumoto have been unlocked, and EVP entries for Sachiko Shinozaki have been unlocked, and Sakuroto Morishige have been unlocked, and Soulful Testimony from Ikue Otani have been unlocked. New Encyclopedia Obscura entries have been unlocked. Calavera Doll, Sachiko Family Photo, Sachiko Shinozaki, Yoshi Shinozaki, and Fact Loop. X Chapter 5 have been unlocked. Alright, Threading the Needle. So we're gonna save that. So, just a quick recap on what happened. We had a huge... The world started to collide, and so Ayumi had to get the Book of Shadows out of her body. She did it. She got the powers, and then she goes into the portal, into the Ever After. There, she finds her friends dead, and then that's when Sachiko uses the last of her life force to send her back in time, and that's where we are now, right before the events that happened in Chapter 5. So that's Chapter 7, guys. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. And then Chapter 8 will begin in the next episode. So look forward to it, and I'll see you guys then.